My name's Andy Sutton. I'm 58. I'm a paraplegic kayaker. I have a rare spinal cord tumour at about the T10 level, and I completed the 3 Lakes Challenge in 10 hours and 45 minutes. I was diagnosed in 2002 with a spinal cord tumour at the T10 level, which basically means I have no feeling below the waist on the left side and only partial feeling on the right side. When I was first sort of diagnosed, they didn't actually know what tumour type it was. So for the ensuing 8 years, we really were at a bit of a loss whether it was going to spread or kill me or anything like that. I had a second round of surgery in 2010, and they were able to get a biopsy at that stage and told me it was a hemangioblastoma, which is a benign tumour, but of course it's right within the spinal column itself, pressing out on the spinal cord. So as it grows, it basically cuts off the innervation at that point. When I was, after the second round of surgery, I had some radiotherapy, and I was looking for something to keep me fit and active, and about 10 or 15 years ago we saw a double sea kayak coming off the bay on the Isle of Mull, and I thought at that stage it looked amazing. I'd really like to try it. Life, work, family got in the way for the following years, and then once I was in a wheelchair, I was looking for something A, to keep me fit, and B, something that would allow me to sort of not compete but participate on the same basis as able-bodied people. And generally, being in a wheelchair and on crutches, your upper body strength is pretty good, so kayaking really did fit the bill. I found out in late 2016 that the tumour is now regrowing. I'm not eligible for any more radiotherapy, chemotherapy, so at some stage in the next 18 months, 2 years, I may not be able to paddle. And having enjoyed it so much, I wanted to do something that was, that I could be proud of, the kids could be proud of, that I could be proud of, and the 3 Lakes Challenge really did fit the bill ideally. I decided to do the challenge in September last year, and really I needed to embark on a good level of sort of cardiovascular training. So I trained on the Trent with my friend Pete Dunlop. Great fun going up, hard work going up against the current, but brilliant coming back down. I do hand cycling and rowing and lots of arm curls. So a mixture of both strength training and sort of cardiovascular fitness as well. I think the highlights was getting on the water at Loch Orr on the first morning. It was a little bit drizzly, but very, very calm water, and just looking up the lake and thinking, oh my goodness, that's a long way. I think that was probably the highlight. And maybe coming back on Lake Bala, it was a windy day from the southwest, so we battled up against sort of 12, 14 mile an hour winds, and then as we turned, we just took a moment to think, yeah, we've done this, we've got this in the bag, and then we just surfed all the way back, which was fantastic. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, we wanted to do a good time, and that meant that, because people had only the weekend to do it in, we had to sort of get up 4 o'clock both mornings, so that was pretty hard. So I guess that would be the hardest. Preparation beforehand in terms of making sure you're fit enough to complete that first 25-mile leg. It is tough, that would have been pretty heartbreaking to sort of get up there and find that I couldn't complete it. So preparation, lots of fitness, the right nutrition, taking drinks on board, and having a great support team. I couldn't have done it without the guys from Rutland Canoe Club, their partners, my wife, daughters who help with all the travelling. I think providing you've got a decent support team, I don't see any accessibility issues at all. Getting on at Loch Orr at Torren Bay end was really easy. It might be a little bit more difficult at the north end, but if you're doing it north to south, Torren Bay is an excellent starting point. Windermere, an absolute cinch getting on, as was Bala. So in terms of accessibility, no, there are no issues really, providing you have a good support team. When you're in a wheelchair, you're restricted to hard surfaces for pushing on. I'm a keen bird watcher, I love nature, so being restricted to paths or hard grass really does limit your ability to get close to nature, to the water. So for me, kayaking is ultimate freedom. You get in the boat and you can pretty much go wherever you want. A couple of years ago I paddled at Flamborough Head, and we paddled up to the RSPB reserve at Bempton to see all those birds coming off the cliffs, the puffins, gannets, guillemots. I could have only dreamed of that, seeing it from the cliffs in a wheelchair, but to be able to do it and experience it on the water. So I would say for anyone with a lower limb disability, paddling is a fantastic sport to take on. Yes. What I find is if I paddle incorrectly, my joints tell me that I'm not paddling properly, and for me that ability then to, or that necessity to sort of twist around the waist really does help with core strength and obviously upper body strength. But you have to be careful with your paddling technique that you don't put unnecessary strain on shoulders and elbows. Don't know. I've been talking to friends and family about a possible sort of dual hand cycling, kayaking event, and seeing these guys out on the water today in these wonderful fast machines, I'm really tempted maybe to try the 3 lakes again in a K2 and try and do an even faster time. I did. It's a carbon fibre Greenland paddle, and the Greenland paddles are designed to reduce wear and tear on shoulders. So you cast it in 4 quarters, join the quarters together and then join the halves together. It's all done with carbon fibre and epoxy resin. My latest attempt didn't go well, it leaked, so I'm using the Old Faithful just now. I used the Greenland paddle for almost all of the challenge, so hopefully I may be the first person to complete it with a Greenland paddle as well. When we finished the challenge, it was a huge anticlimax, and not only me but my able-bodied paddle friends and their wives and partners all felt it was a tremendous anticlimax, and some of them say it was the best weekend ever. I think I'd agree with them. And on the Monday morning, we all felt like we had jet lag, from the travelling but also the anticlimax. So yeah, it's a wonderful challenge, wonderful countryside, and just a fantastic thing to do.